Those interviews were very interesting. Now,
Yeah.
what the heck is a high functioning woman? What is that? I gotta ask you, baby. What is that? What's a high functioning woman?
Yeah, a high functioning woman. That's Hey fam, it's Jazz,
Miss Jaden
and we're coming to you live.
with the vibe.
Come join the tribe.
What tribe?
J
Tribe. Hey,
You know?
that's right.
And if you know, you know. So we are back again with another episode for you guys, another spicy topic.
Uh-oh, here we go, family. Here we go again.
Mhm. Creating broken homes, the fear of commitment and destructive culture.
Oh man, we gotta talk about it.
Oh yeah.
So Dr. Bryant, she interviewed Cam Newton, and she also interviewed Nick Cannon. And these videos, they went viral.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. But if you haven't, I encourage you to check it out.
Yes.
But we'll just cover it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know, basically, Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, they were basically saying that they had multiple kids with multiple women. And that brought up the whole discussion about broken homes.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so they seem to be not having a problem with having multiple kids with multiple women. I mean, Cam Newton mentioned how he wants some more
Yeah,
kids,
he
right?
wants
more
more.
women, right? So from the interview, first I gotta say it was interesting.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
very interesting interview. I mean, it was a little entertaining though too. I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty entertained though.
It was.
I mean, got us all talking, you know.
Mhm.
Got a lot of people triggered and stuff, and everybody got their perspective. But hey, it's something that needs to be spoke
That's
about. We
a
got to
fact.
talk about it, and we definitely got to talk about it because it has an effect on our community.
100%.
So, and so basically, Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, you know, they're basically giving their perspective on, you know, being, you know, fathers of, you know, multiple kids and having multiple women. And, you know, Dr. Bryant, I thought, are we going to talk about her right now, or are we going to talk about it a little later?
Hey, wherever we want to go.
Where
you
we
know
want to go,
we're-
right? Okay, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, let's just deal with the men first. I don't agree. I don't agree with their perspective. I didn't hear them once say that they were married.
Yeah.
I say that because there are groups such as the Mormons, the Muslims, the Hebrew Israelites. Also, throughout Africa, we see that polygyny is common.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We see that. In polygyny family, that's where it's one husband
Uh-huh.
and multiple wives, more than one wife.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily want to go down that rabbit hole and talk about polygyny,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't hear them say that. But I don't agree with their perspective.
Yeah, I agree. Their perspective is unfortunately a perspective that seems like it has been really prevalent in our community, especially as of late. I mean, even if we look at the statistics in the census, there's much more homes without either a father or a mother, a quote unquote broken home. There's much more of them now than there was like back in the 70s, whereas in the 70s it was like around in the 20%, and now it's closer to 50%.
So you're saying it's like almost double
Yeah,
from the 70s till now.
till now it's almost double the amount of broken homes, homes without either, you know, a mother or a father.
Yeah.
So
Which can be due to multiple reasons. We are not going to make any judgments or assumptions on anybody. There's multiple reasons why there are, you know, single parent raising children.
Yes, it's so true. And another thing too is with the statistics is that, like, specifically in the Black community, back in the 70s, we had more there was more marriages. There was...
Yeah, the facts show that.
Yeah, the facts show that. You can look at the census report. And there was way more marriages. In contrast to today's time, worth much less, you know. And
like people still get married now.
man, you know, it's sad, but it's not. It's becoming less and less, and this isn't just a Black American thing. It's actually America as a whole.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring it out.
We have the largest in the world of people who are unmarried. You know, so it's really an American culture thing.
America is number one in unmarriages.
Yeah, and
if that's the term, unmarriages, right?
And people who are not married, right?
Well, America got to be a number one on everything, I guess.
I mean, I guess, right? The good and the bad and the ugly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely not a good thing. Definitely not.
Yeah, so we have noticed like this message, you know, that really and truly Cam Newton and Nick Cannon are pushing is one of, you know, hey, I'm not married, you know, but I am going to be making these homes, having these children. Cam is actively saying that he's looking to have more children, and you know, and not really thinking about what the possible consequences could be for, you know, the children that don't get to see dad every single day. You know, the children who, you know, unfortunately will miss out on dad coming to football practice or basketball practice or whatever the case may be, because, you know, dad is balancing multiple families.
Now, was it Dr. Cheyenne who said it was selfish? It's selfish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, whether the men out there listening, whether if you agree with me or not, hey, it's all good. We fan whether we agree or disagree.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with my family on everything, and I'm sure that you don't either.
That's a fact.
But I will say that I do agree that it is selfish to do that. That's not a lifestyle, in my opinion. And it's no disrespect to them, to them individually. I just do not agree with that perspective, or with that lifestyle, that decision, because those are decisions that they're willing to make, and then like you said, it really has a real negative impact on the children.
It does.
And there's like statistics. Can you go ahead and share some of the statistics?
Yeah,
go ahead and bring it out. Like, check this out, fam.
There are some statistics.
We don't want to bore you with statistics, but we got check this out.
Yeah, because truth is that, you know, children who do not have their father, do not have their mother, who are raised in a home without one of those parents, without both of those parents, they do suffer, you know, and the statistics do bring that out. For instance, in the census
Here we
report.
go. This is not from Jasmine and Jaden. This is from the census, the U.S. Census. Right?
The U.S. Census Bureau. This is in 2018. 42% of all children living in single-parent households are considered poverty-stricken. That's almost half. Also, children from fatherless homes are 71% more likely to be maltreated, 62% more likely to be neglected, and 59% more likely to sustain serious physical injury from abuse. And this is from the Fourth National Instant.
Yeah, the fourth national. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I'll be reading the same census twice. The Fourth National Incident Study.
Oh, yeah.
Incident Study of Child Abuse and Neglect. Congressional Report 2010. So it probably went up since.
Yes, family.
Whenever they do the next recording.
Yeah, and this was back in 2010, right? And then also that 90% of all homeless and runaway children come from single parent homes. There's a lot of statistics out there, fam, and we can go on and on about it, you know, but if you do want to, you know, learn a little bit more about it, just simple Google search.
Ask ChatGPT if you're a little too lazy to do the Google search.
Yeah. There's so many articles, there's so many like census reports, there's books, documentaries. There's so much information out there that actually talks about, you know, the negative impact of single parent households.
And this is basically what they're doing. Basically, they're basically raising they're raising broken. How's the phrase? Broken
homes or single parent.
Yeah, broken homes. They're basically promoting that.
Yeah.
And I say they're promoting that because they have influence. They are celebrities. I mean, are they supposed to be role models? Are they supposed to be our role models, especially in our community, in the black community?
No.
I don't think they should be role models, but they do have influence.
They do.
And I think they should be a little bit more careful on sharing those perspectives, because people actually are impacted by their influence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure, especially within our community. 100%. So I think they could have done a better job with expressing their perspective.
Yeah.
And also, we individually, we got to do a better job in not being influenced by them. We got to make sure that we're the leaders in our household.
100%. Yeah, it's true, right? We shouldn't allow what celebrities are doing to determine what we're doing with our lives, because we should have an understanding that celebrities they're special kind of people. They don't live the usual life that majority of us are going to be living, right? They live a different type of life. So we shouldn't really think of them as like the goal or like how we should conduct ourselves, because truth be told, they're just not your average person, you know?
No.
I also agree, like they should be careful, you know, how they are talking about, you know, their particular household structure, because they do have influence, right? I'm sure there's plenty of little boys out there that, you know, watched Cam Newton, you know, even men that watch Cam Newton and look up to him, right? And Nick Cannon as well, you know, we see his success.
They're very talented.
With his shows and everything like that, right? And so these are, you know, wealthy men, you know, they obviously have an influence, right? So I do agree, like they should be careful about how they're talking about their particular home structure, because they're not your average guy. They're just not, right? So, you know, if average men are starting to think, and I'm not saying average men to like downgrade anybody, right? But you know, you're not a celebrity who's making millions of dollars, right? If you're not a celebrity that's making millions of dollars, you know, kind of trying to put yourself in that same mindset, I think is detrimental. You know, I think it's detrimental for them, but I think even more so for, you know, a normal person or whatever the case may be, because, well, these guys may be able to try to justify it like, hey, well, I'm making this amount of money so I can financially take care of each of my children, and I have the money to do so, right? Which is probably true, right? They probably do have the financial capabilities of taking care of each household that they choose to create, right? But most people are not making, you know, millions like that. So you really got to keep that in mind. And not to mention, just because you're throwing money at your children doesn't mean that they're getting that emotional support which children need. I would say that children need the emotional support, if not more, at least equally to the financial support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to try to model what they're doing, it's different. They got a lot more money and they have influence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're popular. And it's just, it doesn't promote a healthy household. And there's multiple reasons on why the unmarried, I don't know what we call it, the unmarried rate. I don't know what the unmarriage, people are not getting married, why it's went up. I mean, there's multiple reasons. You know, the welfare system has something to do with it.
Yes.
Because back in the day, you used to have to hide your boyfriend, you couldn't get married. So when the welfare
get
man
that
comes,
man out the house.
Time to go, babe. I gotta hop the fence. Here come the welfare man.
Oh no.
Back in the day, it seemed, well, from what I heard, back in the day, they would show up. They would show up to your house more often.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
They still do it now to make sure your information is right, that you're reporting it correctly, but
yeah, I think they got spies for real, because they'll know, like, oh, you doing hair out of your house?
Oh, they want to.
I think they do have people like that will spy on the home just to see, like, and see if you're making money, because they'll so definitely want to be careful when it comes to that.
So there's multiple reasons. Another reason too, also the welfare. We're not gonna get too caught up on talking about that's another rabbit hole for another time. But welfare, which, you know, it doesn't promote marriage, especially within our community.
It's true.
Also, let's be honest, the music the music, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I mean, with the rappers and with the artists, it's just, let's just keep it a buck. A lot of the music's trash. The message is trash. Like,
So
I can't even listen to the radio. I'm like I want to hear new music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to stay. I just want to hear new music. I want you know stay in touch too. I want to hear new artists. I don't want to be stuck in the '90s and the 2000s. I want to hear new artists. But it's hard to listen to. It's really cringy to listen to them. But I say that to say that music has an influence in it, and if you listen to it and you dwell in this music, it becomes your meditation. You meditate on the music, on the lyrics. It starts getting in your subconscious, and then you start regurgitating the lyrics. You start speaking the way how they're speaking, like speaking negativity.
Yeah.
You start doing these things, and like, you know, glorifying being a player, or glorifying, you know, being a pimp, or and you know, taking somebody's woman. Oh, I'm gonna take your girl. Like that's a recipe for creating a broken home.
100%.
Like, I'm gonna take your girl. I'm gonna take your wife, and like so. Yeah, the music it has to be addressed. And
yeah, and what Snoop Dogg say? We don't love them.
oh,
hey, let's not act like these.
well,
things.
he did say, was it? Is it HOES?
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't love them hoes. But he did say that, right? But I guess women would say they would agree with that, because they're not talking about that woman. They're talking about the hoes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
But I do think that
You said we married. We like to.
you go back and forth.
Yeah, we like
right? Yeah, but it's true. But I do think that has had an impact on the culture, right? Because although he was specifically talking about, you know, the hoes.
Right. He didn't say. He didn't say women.
He didn't say women in general.
All women are hoes. He didn't say that.
Yeah, and although he wasn't just talking about all women in general, I think somewhere it got lost in translation, and people started thinking, you know, looking at, you know, some people might have started looking at all women in a certain light, right? Because I mean, something happened from the 70s to where we are right now to make our marriage rates go down and the rise of single people go up.
Yeah. So the music, it's like, so we have to listen responsibly.
Yeah.
Now with the artists, I mean, we can go down another rabbit hole talking about the music industry and what they like to promote, and it's done intentionally. The media, they push this fast food music down, you know, down our ears. You know, it's basically fast food music.
That's so true.
That's what it is. So, it's to try to hypnotize us to live this culture, quote unquote, which is actually it's not a lifestyle, it's a death style. It's actually hurting us. So it does have an influence on us if we allow it. So I just say, I'm not saying don't listen to music. I'm not saying that. Let's just listen responsibly. Let's not dwell on the music, because it's going to get in your subconscious. It's going to start affecting you. Like, even when you listen to a certain song, your mood would change. Like,
it's so true. It's so true. So we got to be mindful, family. We got to be mindful of the things that we're watching and the things that we're listening to.
It's like when you go to a restaurant, right? Like a nice fancy restaurant, like they're not playing gangsta rap, like right? Like they're playing, I don't know, classical music or something, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's true, because
like music, pianos, and you know, like
it's a fact. Music has an effect on how you respond, how you act. It really does. So it is important for us to just pay attention, be mindful of what we're listening to and of what we're watching, right? I mean, we're not sitting here saying, you know, you can't have any fun or watch anything entertaining. But what we are saying is that you may want to be more mindful and see if it's having any sort of effect on you personally, right? And your views on things, because truth be told, seems like nowadays a lot of the message that we're getting in the music is just, it's detrimental. Let's be real. It's this, you know, whole culture. It's, you know,
the independent woman. Oh, you're talking about a recipe. Oh man, independent woman.
You know, it's drugs, it's alcohol. It's just a lot of things that are harmful, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, we're calling it independent man. Nobody says that, but being a player or being a pimp or trying to do that, like having a bunch of women but not being married, like you're creating broken homes. But it just doesn't help anybody. It doesn't. It doesn't. And also too with the independent woman, and it seems to be well, there is a rise. We've seen the stats. There's a high there's a rise on independent women, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it look, I'm obviously not a woman, but yeah, it may, for a lot of women, it's like it's okay to to give yourself credit on focusing on your education,
Yeah.
focusing on yourself, focusing on not necessarily being like feeling like a man has to do everything for you, but we need each other.
Yeah.
And I say proudly that, babe, I depend on you.
I depend on you
I'm
too,
not an
baby.
independent man. I'm definitely not an independent man.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm not an independent woman
That's
either.
what I'm talking about. Independent woman, I don't know. It's already cringy, like, for a lot of men. Like, when we hear independent woman, it's like, but they push that. They push that,
do. They do. And that's not to say that we don't think that women should have their own thing going on for themselves.
Right, yeah.
Of course we do. And same for the men, right? But I think it's that mindset of that, like, I don't need no man. How is that really going to get us anywhere, really and truly? How is that really going to be helpful to our community if we're saying that we don't need one another?
So now we kind of flipping the script. Now, because we were talking about the men, now we're talking about the women, it seems like. Because, like, with the men, yeah, spreading your seed around. But with the women, like, just promoting this independent woman type of mindset,
yeah,
like, that's also a problem as well. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully, I don't either, because I see that it's not helping us. We might think that, because, we're accomplishing many things, which is amazing. But let's not forget, we were put on this earth to serve other people, not just ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And we've started to get into this culture of individualism, right? Where it's about me.
Good point. Individualism. Yeah, America promotes individualism.
It does, right? And so now we're building this culture of, well, it's all about me, what I want to do, what's good and what's best for me. And we're not really looking at us holistically, right? As a whole, as a community, as a whole.
Yeah, other communities, they have the advantage, like, because they have a mindset of what you can do for the community, for the village, for the family. Where in America, it's all about individualism.
Yeah, it's about me, myself, and I. And
from the education too, like 18, and you go off to college, and then you move away from your parents. Like that's not the ancient way. That's not the biblical way. That's not a part of biblical culture.
So true.
But in America, America does things the American way. But sending your kids off to college. I'm not dissing anybody who went to college or had to go to another state or move out of your parents' house. But that does have a negative influence on us, and it can lead to broken homes, which is the topic of today, broken homes. So even the American culture, from education to the media, to music, even to a degree. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but if you want to talk about like feminism, that can have an impact as well.
100%. There's so many things that we have been really bombarded with, in a sense, that has kind of, I think, changed the cultural narrative on families and even marriage, so yeah.
And also I like to say as well as the prisons, prison, our men are getting locked up.
Yes.
And we know about the 80s, we know about the crack, and not gonna get too deep on that, but a lot of our men got locked up, and there's a lot of men that are behind bars, so that has an impact on our community, and and it creates broken homes as well, because it leads, when you're in the life and you're not making money, if you're making money illegally, you're doing things that are against the law, well, it's going to lead into being locked up or being killed. So and that leads to broken homes, because our men are dying. And our men are getting sick, and also too. So not only do we see it, with incarceration, with the high incarceration rate with black men. Also, we see that how like we promote just going out and having sex, like it's like going out and like having a glass of wine or something.
Man,
like, it's just something that you do.
It's just
for fun.
something that you do for fun.
No, that's something that you do with your wife.
Yes, with your husband, right?
Yeah.
People don't.
So then, when you do that, it spreads diseases.
Yeah.
So that like you talk about getting sick, with there's a lot of problems that affects our community, which leads to broken homes. And
100%. Yeah, it's true. People don't realize when you are having sex with someone, you're not only exchanging bodily fluids with this person, you're exchanging ties, spiritual ties with this person, spiritual emotions in this person, and it's going both ways. And honestly, there's been studies on it about how, like, when you are, you know, having sex with somebody, a part of them is really still in you when it's all over said and done, you know. And it takes time, lots of time, for that to be broken. And so when we're looking at sex like it's just anything, and it's just like having a glass of wine, and it's just whatever, we're really missing the point of how spiritual sex really is. It's a spiritual thing.
Absolutely.
And it should be shared with your husband or your wife. 100%. It's sacred.
Yeah.
It's sacred. It's bonding. It's a bonding mechanism with somebody. Like, people just think like, oh, it's just for pleasure. No, it's for way more than that. It's a way to bond with your spouse. That's one of the original intents for sex was to bond with your spouse. It's a close connection that you're having with somebody. I mean, for a woman, you're allowing someone to enter inside of your body. Like, I just don't think that we should be downplaying that to the extent that we are. And also, now there has been a rise in STDs. Believe it or not, there's a rise right now. That's why I'm so thankful I'm not single.
Yeah,
I am so thankful I'm not single, because
you
there
got
is
a witness right here.
and this is no disrespect to you if you're single, obviously not. But what I'm saying is that, like, it's scary out here. Like, there are people out here just passing around diseases, and they don't care.
Yep.
So, family, be careful.
Yep.
You know,
They're just slinging their genitals. They're slinging their genitals, just making drive-bys.
Drive-bys, right? And then, what if this situation produces a child, right? You're having quote-unquote casual sex, and then all of a sudden, okay, now you're pregnant, right? And then, okay, obviously there's been a huge promotion of abortions. You know, we're not going to get too deep into that whole subject right there, but, you know, there would be a much less of a need for abortions if we were just married, right? If we were just married. Also, too, okay, if a woman chooses to go to term with the child that she had from, you know, a casual encounter, now, you know, unfortunately, that child could be raised in, you know, a single parent home. Now, you know, now you're dealing with, you know, possible poverty, because let's be real. I mean, it's going to be much easier on you financially if you have two people to help raise a child than it is just to have one parent financially supporting a child. And not only is this one parent financially supporting the child, they have to emotionally support the child now. And also, too, this parent is probably having to work twice as hard, which means that, unfortunately, they're not able to spend as much quality time with their child.
Yeah, we see a lot of our women, you know, raising the children. And it's like, it's hard because, like, you need a father, like, you need fathers in our home. So, like, the mother's, like, has to do, like, even more, and then provide on top of that. So it's like being the mother and kind of like and a father figure at the same time and working. Yeah, it's just tough. It's just really rough. Also, too, you know, they promoting the whole gender war.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you see it in the movies. It's played out, but they're gonna keep pushing it. They're trying to push that and get us to continue to fight with one another. But I think that has an impact as well.
Oh yeah,
because it's like, oh, you know, our community is just using each other just for the pleasure, but. Or, you know, collectively is the intent to get married and have a healthy family.
Yeah.
So these are just different causes to broken homes. I thought we should bring it up.
100%, right?
Selfishness and pride too.
Selfishness and pride, 100%. You know, the government obviously helping to aid. You know, if we're gonna be real, they're helping to aid single family homes more so, because hey, you are able to get different types of assistances. And don't get me wrong, obviously, people need these assistances, but at the same time, also, these assistances are making it more easy. Like, if you were to have a child outside of wedlock, it's making it more easy to like be able to take care of that child now, because it's like you don't have to think as hard about like, well, how am I going to take care of this child if I have a child outside of wedlock? It's kind of like, well, I know that I can get some food stamps, and I know that I can get on Section 8. So it's kind of like that like it's like that, like you got that option. Like ultimately, you kind of have that option. Yeah. Like, okay.
Plus, everybody's doing it, right?
Everyone's doing it.
It's the new normal. It's normal. Our elders got married. To the elders, it ain't normal.
Yeah. Not to the elders, but to our generation.
But we not listening to our elders.
Yeah.
There's that gap too. There's the youngsters ain't listening to the elders.
That's a fact. So yeah. We got that.
Yeah.
We got the feminist movement. I don't need a man, or whatever the case may be. And I think that
plays right to pride. Sorry to cut you off, but it's just catering to that to that woman's pride, to that individual's pride.
Yes. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that, like, because me and my husband would consider ourselves, feminists, but not in the terms of like what's going on in today's day.
Jane, you're a feminist?
Not in
not define how they define it.
Exactly. We respect, obviously, we respect women, and we respect women's rights, right?
That's right.
That's in the sense that we would say, we're feminists, but not in this whole, men are evil type situations that seem to be going on. That's toxic masculinity.
Oh, that's another one. Oh, the toxic masculinity. Oh, man.
Whatever that means, right? So it's
my masculinity's toxic, man?
No.
Oh, man.
Just because you're masculine doesn't mean it's toxic, right? So I don't know, all these different little terms that have been coined over the years, which has been really destructive, honestly. Also, like we touched on, individualism, the pride movement, because ultimately, if you are with someone of the same sex, you can't actually make children that way, right? So, also, like we touched on, the whore culture, the pimp culture, and rap culture, right? These have all been things that have, I believe, have caused destruction when it comes to, marriage, and has led to more broken homes.
Yes. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, family. When we really think about it, it's a lot of issues that's causing broken homes. So we just thought we'd bring it up and talk about it.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's going to the next generation. It's single homes raising single homes, and it's not helping. It's just not good for because ultimately we need to be thinking about the children, right? Yes.
It's not just about us and ourselves. It's really about like, how are our children gonna feel? Me and my husband, we really, I'm really happy about how we both looked at things, because even when we were dating, we didn't look at having kids as like it's just any old kind of thing. Like, we really thought these things through. Like, we weren't trying to just create children without any foundation, and we're still to this day wanting to make sure that we have a solid foundation before we even bring children into the home, because we understand what a sacrifice of having children is, and how we want to be our best selves. Honestly, we want to try to be the best versions of ourselves when we bring children into the home, and I think that if more people would look at it that way, instead of just looking at it like, oh, it's just a notch, or it's just like a check off my checklist, like, okay, I have the kids, check. But what about all the self-growth and the self-development that really and truly I believe is important, to make healthy homes, right? Because I think that when you're just, young, and then you're just like, okay, I'm just going to have a child, you're not really thinking through a lot of the ins and outs that it takes to really be a mom or a dad, and to really raise like amazing, great children. Obviously, Yeah, if you have children younger, you're going to do your best that you can. Nothing wrong with that. But just imagine, like, taking your time out, really thinking through, like, how you really want to raise your children. Like, maybe you want to homeschool your kid, right? But, okay, are you going to be able to really homeschool your kid if you don't have, like, that financial stability to do that? Like, no, you're going to have to end up probably sending them to a school, and you just don't know what the school is going to be teaching your kids, because they got a lot. They start passing all types of different laws on, what they feel like is appropriate for your kid to learn, but maybe you don't feel like that's appropriate for my kid, And then we know the statistics of public schools and how it's been, like, going down to the gutter. Like, honestly, I feel like a lot of schools are very behind, especially if you look at other cultures.
Yes.
We're falling behind, and so. I don't know, but these are a whole lot of things that you can really think about when you take time out to think about them, and not just, like, rush into like having a child. You really can think through, like, oh, you know what, I think this would be better for my child. I think this type of environment would be better for my child. I could, you could start, like, financially preparing for that child. Like, oh, I want to set, my child up with, some assets to have, so I can start investing for my child, right? That way, my child's life can be better long term, right?
Dang, babe. You went in.
Thank you, baby. Thank
you.
you.
It was like Jordan. I was like Steve Kerr. I got the heck out of your way. You need me for open shot, I got you.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys can see, I'm very passionate when it comes to the children, 100%. I used to be a teacher, so.
Man, those are straight gems. But, baby, I got this question for you.
Okay.
So, what was your opinion on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant?
Yeah, I did do some research on her, and I found out, she was on a few shows. I know she was on Teen Mom, I believe, Love and Hip Hop. Also that, she said she was a 41-year-old woman who had never been married, and she doesn't have any kids.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Time out. 21 second time out. She's 41 years old.
Uh-huh.
She's not married. She doesn't have any kids.
Yeah.
That's what I learned when I did my research.
Yeah.
And she's getting married advice?
Yeah, she was giving Cam and giving Nick Cannon advice, right? And they're both single, so, hey, she was giving advice to them. I don't know if her specialty is like marriage counseling. I do know she's a doctor. She went to school. She's educated as well. Yep. But yeah, I do think it is interesting. When people who've never been married and aren't married, give out marriage advice. I know, we wouldn't seek counseling from somebody that's never been married.
Yes. It's a little strange. Right? To give married advice, you never been married before.
Yeah.
Also, too, I gotta bring this out. The way how she was dressed, I thought that was what's the word? What's a good word for that?
Interesting.
Well, I'm not really interested. That's why I didn't want to say interesting.
Man.
You brought up a good word the other day. It was peculiar.
Oh yeah, it's peculiar.
Peculiar. Yeah, I mean she's a professional.
Uh-huh.
I thought that she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I thought she was entertaining as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
She knows how to market herself, so I got to give her credit on knowing how to do that. But the way how she was dressed, it just didn't seem congruent. It seemed incongruent. It didn't seem like it fit to have her clothes like down here.
It's true, right? It's kind of like, well, what are you really promoting? Are you promoting, your educational background, or are you like, and your profession, or are you like, I don't know, trying to get a date, or like looking for that man? Because it's true, she wore a dress that was quite tight fitting. Her cleavage was very out. So it was kind of like, well, what is this really about? Are you really trying to give your professional opinion? Or are you trying to, basically attract some attention? And all I can say is, hey, whatever she was going for, it worked, because hey, here we all are talking about the subject.
Mm-hmm. Got people to watch and talk about it, and then have all these other conversations.
Yeah.
Which I think is important to have these conversations.
I agree.
But it seems like it's kind of going off topic because people seem to just blame her and like ignore the topic at hand.
Yeah.
The topic is broken homes, and Cam Newton and Nick Cannon are promoting creating broken homes. If you ask me, so that's the topic at hand. So we shouldn't just ignore that and just go bad on her.
Yeah, 100%. Because ultimately these guys, they asked her to come on their platform to talk to them and to speak with them, right? And it's not the other way around. So hey, she gave them her advice from her professional opinion, and that's what they asked her to do. So yeah, I think it's important for us to not miss out on really what was being said. Like they say, don't shoot the messenger.
Oh. Yeah.
Hey, she was the messenger, and I think we can all pretty much agree that having children, several children, from several different people in several different homes is not best practice for the children. It's just not.
So you mean to tell me that she wouldn't be able to give us married advice?
Nope. She wouldn't be able to give us married advice.
No. Like she wouldn't be able to just sit right here and wear the same thing that she wore and give us advice?
Nope. I would respectfully.
Respectfully, right?
Respectfully ask her to leave.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Dr. Cheyenne. No disrespect.
No. None whatsoever.
These are just observations, family.
These are just observations, and I think she knew what she was going for when she picked that outfit to wear.
Did you let your daughter dress like that? Man,
it's interesting. or peculiar.
Yeah, peculiar, right? We're gonna keep it a buck, right? Like, wait. Did she say something like she would date somebody younger, like in their 20s, right?
Yeah, she was talking about that she's looking to be married, and she would go, I think, as young as like 27 or something like that. So
you're talking 14-year difference.
Yeah, there's definitely an age difference there.
And no disrespect to people who are married that have an age gap. This is no diss, but it's usually the other way around. It's usually older men dating younger women.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah. I mean, hey, she says she's looking. From my research, she was I don't know if she said propose. I don't think she used the word propose, like she was engaged. I don't think she said she was engaged, but she said she thought about going down the aisle 4 times, but wanted to heal inside.
Yeah. I found that very interesting because she was saying, that she wasn't ready. She was still, working on internal stuff or whatever the case may be. But I just find it interesting because it's like, it doesn't matter where you're at in your age, whether you're young, whether you're old, you're always going to be growing and developing and changing.
That's right.
Like you're always going to be working on yourself. I mean, at least you should always work on yourself. I don't think there should ever be a time in anyone's life where you feel like, well, I just made it and I don't need any more work now. Like, no, we're on this earth so we can continue to grow, continue to learn, and continue to be the best versions of ourselves. Like, the woman that you married, me, back in 2018 is not me now.
I married another woman?
You married another version of me.
I got 2 wives? Oh, no. Oh, man. Just in case we didn't get it, family. It's my wife right here. Same person. From 2018, 2024, same person.
Same person, but
and that Jack that you married back in 2018, make sure that he don't come around here no more.
Oh, I will.
Well, we're gonna have some problems. We do. There's gonna be some consequences and repercussions.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't bring that buster around here.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, that was me.
That was him for sure. We were different versions of ourselves, right?
Right?
We are not the same people that we used to be, and you know what? I'm thankful. I'm thankful that we continue to grow, we continue to learn, and whoever you choose to marry, guess what? They're going to be growing, they're going to be learning, they're going to come with their traumas, with the things that they're dealing with, just as you're going to be coming with your traumas and the stuff that you're dealing with, right? So there's really never going to be a point in your life where you're going to be like, I just made it now, I'm perfect, so now, I'm ready to go and be with somebody. No, I wouldn't say that. Also, I would say that you're more likely to find out, more so of your flaws and the things that you can work on when you're actually married to someone, because that person can see things outside of, like, you're in it all your life. So how would you know, right? But then your spouse comes along and they're like, hey, did you notice X, Y, and Z? And these might be things that you never even noticed about yourself. You never even realized about yourself, right? So it's like, that's one of the benefits of having a spouse, because your spouse can help you and challenge you in a good way to be better.
Absolutely. Babe, I got another question. Okay, I mean, it was a very interesting interview. Those interviews were very interesting. Now, what the heck is is a high functioning woman? What is that? I gotta ask you, baby. What is that? What's a high functioning woman?
Yeah, a high functioning woman. That's an interesting term that she coined. Not to be confused with, I guess, the high value woman or man that we've heard so much about.
Yeah.
No, this is the
no disrespect to
Kevin Sanders.
Yes.
Who I think coined that term.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he did. Rest in peace. But yeah, the low functioning woman and or man, and the high functioning woman and or man. That was a term that I believe she coined. I haven't heard it before. And it's very interesting that she labeled it that way. I know she was saying, you are who you attract, right? I do believe that you are who you attract in a certain sense. I believe that, if you already have a sense of, who you are and who you will allow to come into your life and who you won't allow to come into your life, I think that will definitely help you attract the type of person that, you're meant to be with, right? Because if you notice that this person, doesn't have certain attributes or qualities that you want in a mate, then, you're not going to pursue that further. For instance, if Nick Cannon came up to me, a single me, way before I met my husband, if he came up to a single me, and I noticed that he had, multiple children with multiple women, I wouldn't entertain it, because ultimately I know that, hey, his track record shows that he's not willing to commit to a woman. So I do agree to a certain extent that you are who you attract. How about you? What do you think about the low functioning woman or man?
Well, I thought it was very high functioning how you were ignoring me, distract you, hate on you. You said Nick Cannon though. You used to like him back in the day.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was like Drumline days.
Oh, yeah, that was our movie. I had that movie.
That was a good movie.
Nick Cannon though? You would have turned? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm turning Nick Cannon down. Okay.
I was convinced when you said, the fact that he's got multiple women and multiple kids, and I was like, oh, hell. I like how you ignore me though. So a high functioning woman and a low functioning, right? High functioning woman versus a low functioning woman, right? To me, they're the same person. I think that any individual can be high functioning and low functioning. They can be high functioning when they're led by the Spirit of God.
Yes.
And they can be low functioning when they're led by the flesh. So I see it as the same person. And guess what, family? I'm low functioning and I'm high functioning.
Same here.
Especially sometimes when I come home from work, right?
I plead the fifth.
Oh. I mean, I'm coming from a low functioning work environment where a lot of negativity go on. You hear gossip, and you know how bosses be and stuff like that. It's yeah, you come from a low functioning, dirty environment, and you come home. Sometimes you bring that with you. So.
Yeah, hey, and same here. There's times when I'm low functioning as well, right? I agree with you. I think that you can be both low functioning and high functioning at the same time. You might be high functioning when it comes to, your business. Maybe you're a businesswoman. You know how to get stuff done. You know how to handle stuff. But maybe in your dating life, You know, you may be low functioning because the men that you choose may be, you know, not the best types, right? So I think that's true, babe. I think that you could be high functioning and low functioning all in within the same person. And like you said, if you're just seeking after your fleshly desires, then you're more likely to make those low functioning decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're seeking after the spirit, you know, you're able to function at the high level, have that high vibration, right?
That's right.
And
High
attract
vibration. Yes.
that high vibration person as well, you know, if you're in the spirit.
Yes, and there's a battle. There's a battle with the flesh. Like,
Yeah.
If there wasn't, we wouldn't be tempted to you know, make mistakes and do things we shouldn't do. So yeah, it is like that battle though between choosing the flesh and choosing the spirit.
It's true.
So I think it's the same person.
I agree. That's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you're never going to be able to say, well, you know, I'm perfect now. You know, I'm just all high functioning and everything, every area in my life is just working so perfectly and smoothly.
Yeah. It was always improvement somewhere. Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, family. So we're about to wrap up, family.
We
We're
are.
closing up. So yeah, baby, you want to go ahead and just give your final thoughts?
Yes. So what I will say, fam, is just be mindful, right? Plan out the life that you want to have, right? Think these things through. We're in a culture and a society right now where it's like, just seek after what you want. Seek after your flesh. Seek after those pleasurable things, those in the moment things. But what I would challenge you is to actually think it through. Be thoughtful. Really think through, you know, the consequences to all our actions that we may do, right? So, you know, having casual sex can lead to many other things that you didn't plan for. You know, it can lead to STDs. It can lead to unplanned pregnancies, right? So I would say just be careful, you know, out there. Make sure that you're thinking everything through. Just because, you know, the music and, you know, we have people like Cam Newton and Nick Cannon promoting one type of message where, you know, hey, just get, you know, just do it. Just, you know, make children, you know, create different broken homes. Just because they're promoting that, family, does not mean that that's what's good for you, good for your, that's going to be good for your children. In no way, you know, is that really going to be helpful to you or your children. So just be really mindful of that, family. Get married, you know, seek after becoming a husband, becoming a wife, right? Understand that there's so many benefits truly to being married. You know, you really get to grow and build with someone, and now you have that partner, right? Yeah. Someone that's going to be able to be in the trenches with you on those hard days and come up with you on those high days, right? You really have a life partner and someone that's going to help you with those children, because we know, although we're not parents yet, we know it's not easy to be a parent, you know? So why add more challenge to yourself by, you know, being a single parent, right? So I would say, really think it through. Take your time. Don't feel like you have to rush or that you have to hurry when it comes to just having a child. I really think that you should think it through and, you know, try to find that husband or that wife, you know, that you can create this family with, you know, because, you know, ultimately one of the things we didn't touch on is that, like, now, okay, so let's just say, for instance, you know, you had some children and it was, you know, when in your younger days when, you know, you were just having fun. Okay, but now you're ready to get married. You go and get married to somebody else. And now you're in the home, you know, with that family that you created. And now how are your other children going to feel? That the other children that didn't get that opportunity to be in the home with you, you know, how do you think they're going to feel? You know, they're going to feel left out. They're going to feel a little bit left out. So it's just important to be mindful of all the decisions that we're making.
Wow, that was powerful, babe. Wow.
Oh, thank you, baby.
I feel like just ending on that note. That was a beautiful high note. But family, I would say, yeah, let's get married. Let's not create broken homes.
Yes.
Let's make it better for the next generation to come, because ultimately we want our children to be better than us.
Yes.
So let's get married. Let's follow the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Let's apply the word of Yah, the word of God. Let's allow the word of God to be our map, our road map to
Yes.
how we conduct our lives and how we live out our culture, because that's really the solution right there, is the word of God.
Yes.
And not just the reading of it, hearing of it, but the application of it.
100%.
And the Bible promotes. It doesn't promote broken homes.
No.
It promotes family.
Yes.
And building family and building a legacy for your family. So
Yes.
let's do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I really encourage. And it's never too late, family. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Nope.
It's true. Yeah, and the Bible doesn't promote individualism. So,
No.
we gotta, especially as a community, we gotta get out of that individualistic mentality about like it's just me, myself, and I, and know that it's about the group. It's about the whole, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, fam, it's about that time.
It's about that time.
Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment.
Please, family, let us know what you guys think. Did you guys watch the interview? And if so, what was your take on it? What do you guys think? So until next time, it's Jazz.
It's Jaden.
Peace.
Peace.